Yo.
People that me and Sean grew up with that are no longer here today. We just lost a brother that went to school with us just a few months ago of a drug overdose. I've seen the class president of our high school overdosed on heroin at 21 years old. He wanted to be the president. He was already connected with the governor of Michigan in high school. He had a bright future, but guess what? He was deceived. Tomorrow is not promised. Even when we're not using, tomorrow is not promised. So we need to be able to put a plan in place that will allow us to have success. And again, as I mentioned before, the enemy that's out to get us is no respecter of persons. And you are in a battle. It's a daily battle. It's a daily choice. But I can tell you that it can be overcome. I am no longer tempted by drugs and alcohol. I'm no longer tempted to go live the fast life. I'm no longer tempted to want to go back and use. In the beginning, yes, it was hard. But guess what? They say when you resist the devil, he will flee. Resist your devil in your life, whether it was crack, whether it was alcohol, whether it was whatever it was, resist it and it will flee. 5 keys to sustainable success. Number 1, these are things that I've been able to apply in my life that 10 years later have caused me to be successful in overcoming the obstacles of life. Surround yourself with winners. You are who you hang with. If you literally think that you can leave this drug court, go back to being on the block, hanging with your homies, hanging with people that aren't for you, because guess what? When I was locked up, nobody was coming to get me out. Not even Sean. I mean, he loved me, but he wasn't coming to get me out. Why? Because Sean was caught up in Sean. You realize who your real friends are, because the real friends that care about you and love you are going to get behind you and say, I'm here to help you. I believe in you. Don't go to that party. Don't do this. Don't do that. But I promise you, because I thought one day that, you know what, I'm not going to use drugs and alcohol. I'm just going to go to the club and sell them. And I think that worked for one day. But the second day, what was I doing? Down in shots, popping pills, doing all that stuff. Why? Because it's a deception. You cannot go back. And the Lord had to pull me away from all my people for several years to literally almost isolate me to get me together. Because I was on, even though it was a short period of time, 3 or 4 years, I didn't know who I was anymore. So guess what? I had to find out who Justin is. And in that, I had to separate myself from the temptations, the persons, the places, and the things that caused me to fall, that caused me to use again, to cause me to keep going backwards. And you may need to do that. I won't even say you may. You need to do that. You need to do that. Why? Because at the end of the day, it's all about yourself. What good are you? At the time, I had a 1-year-old daughter. I was no good to her. All messed up on drugs and alcohol. No good. 10 years later, I'm married with 3 kids, and I've got 1 on the way right now. And you know what? My kids have never seen me high or drunk. They've never seen their daddy the way that I used to be. And you know what? Now I've got a whole new opportunity to raise up a whole new generation of people that will not have to do what I had to go through. Guess what? The buck stops here. The curse has been broken. And my kids will be able to walk in a manner that I wasn't able to walk. Why? Because my dad was an alcoholic. I was raised in it. And a lot of times when you're raised in it, it's what you know. It's who you become. But guess what? You may not have had the opportunity to do all the things that you wanted at a young age. You may not have had a relationship with your mom and your dad, which is so vital for a young child to have. That's why most of us went the way we did, because we didn't have the guidance. We didn't have our mom and dad pouring into us the way we needed to. But guess what? You may not have had it. I may not have had it. But guess what? You can do that for your kids. You can be what you didn't have for your own kids. Number 2 is you got to have accountability partners. You got to literally surround yourself with champions. You got to surround yourself with people that are there for you, that have your back, that are going to help you not make those decisions, not make those mistakes. You know what accountability is? Hey, Sean, man, I'm feeling tempted right now. I want to go out and use. I want to go out and do this thing. And you know what Sean's job is? To encourage me and hold me accountable not to go back out. Because I can assure you guys this, there's 2 things waiting for you if you go back out. Number 1 is prison. and number 2 is the grave. And I can assure you, if you think you can go back out and it won't happen, I've seen too many people fall, so have you. Why are you any different? Why am I any different? I know that's what's waiting for me. I used to, and I'm not glorifying it, I used to sniff coke, pop ecstasy pills, take acid, do all at the same time. I was crazy. I fear my life to put another line or a pill in my body. Why? Because it could be my last. I've seen too many people die. You may say, well, that's not my drug of choice, it's only weed. Well, guess what? Keep smoking weed and watch what eventually happens. It'll eventually grow into something different, and it's not worth it. None of it. Have those people around your life. Number 3, you got to create a life vision and set goals for your life, and I've created some definitions of what some of those things are. I never knew what a vision was. I thought vision was something that you just see with your natural eyes. Really, it's not. Vision is picturing something in your life that you can become, that you want to become. Guess what? When we were all young, we had dreams. We dreamed as kids. But guess what happens? We get older, and all these things going on begin to strip us away. And we start getting caught up in the cares of this world, and this life begins to drag us down, and we get to a place of no hope, no dreams, no vision. I'm here to tell you, you can be whatever you want to be. Today, I own about 4 businesses. I'm in ministry. I'm a motivational speaker. God has blessed my life abundantly, and I, most of the time, think I'm living a dream. Why? Because when I walked in that door, I never knew what it would be like 10 years later, and I didn't even care. I just wanted to change. I just wanted to change. Give me one more chance, God. Give me another opportunity to change my life. And I can assure you right now that the best is yet to come, and the sky is the limit. The sky is the limit. I don't care what anybody has spoken to you. I don't care what you guys have gone through. You can do whatever you want to do, but you got to create a plan. My challenge to you is create a plan when you leave here immediately. Immediately. You don't want to waste any time. Really sit down, write some goals, come up with it don't even matter how old you are. My dad's 52 years old, and again, it has nothing to do with me, but the Lord caused me to help him get his life together. He's got 8 drunk drivings. 52 years old, just getting his life together, and guess what? I said, Dad, God has a plan for you. It don't matter how many years you've wasted of your life. Tomorrow is gone, or yesterday is gone, but tomorrow is future. You can do anything. 52. I don't care to the oldest person in here or the youngest. Create a vision. Set some goals. Number 4, work hard. This ain't going to come easy. This ain't no fast food. I just give it to me. I don't want to put no work in. No. I've gone through 10 years of ups and downs, struggles, jobs, walking, taking the bus for 5 years, walking with my little girl. Now that I got full custody, that was another thing. When she was 4 years old, I got full custody of her because of my life change. Walking with her hand in hand to church a mile, right? You got to work hard. You got to be dedicated. You can't allow the circumstances and the things around you to hold you down. Nothing can stand before you that can cause you or hinder you to become what you want. Don't let it be an excuse. I can't find a job. Go to McDonald's and start there, because I had to start at Subway. $6 an hour. You don't just become that entrepreneur. You got to start somewhere, and you got to build on it. It's a plan. And I'm telling you, I was tempted by that quick money, because it was easy to go out one night and make a couple grand. But guess what? That was dirty money, and it did nothing for me. So I had to create a plan and build it up. Stay dedicated. Stay dedicated to yourself. Stay dedicated to your plan. Stay dedicated to the things that you learn, because guess what? Judge Lloyd ain't going to be watching you tomorrow when you leave here. You're not going to have the probation. I don't know. Do they still have probation when they leave here? Your probation officer ain't going to be calling you up and telling you to come in. It's time to be responsible. It's time to take action for yourself. It's easy not to drop dirty when you know you got to drop. Right? You know she ain't playing. Right? Well, guess what? Your real test starts when you walk out of this place today. How serious are you? How serious are you? It doesn't matter how serious you say you are to Judge Lloyd. It don't matter how serious you say you are to me, or your mom, or your spouse, or your kids. How serious are you to you? Because at the end of the day, that's all that matters, because really you're no good for nothing if you're all jacked up and messed up on drugs and alcohol. You got to remain committed to your plan. Create your vision, create your goals, and remain committed to that thing. How do you know that one of you guys aren't the next president, the next CEO of a large corporation, the next minister, the next whatever? You guys could come up with the next witty invention that changes business. And number 5 is you can never quit. Never quit. Even if, and I pray that this doesn't happen, even if you use again, you got to get back up. Dust it off and keep moving forward. Why? Because the devil will tell you, oh, you done screwed up. Might as well go back. You might as well go back. Because after I had gotten it together, I went out one time and I used again. And you know what? I said, this is not me anymore. I could feel it. I could feel it. It wasn't me anymore. And I repented and I turned and I kept going. Because I realized that that was no longer me. I was a new person. I was a new person. And I pray that you don't have to ever use again. But if you do, you get back up. You get back up and you keep moving and you stay accountable. I want to read these 3 things. Success. The favorable or prosperous termination of attempts or endeavors. The attainment of wealth, position, honors, achievement, triumph, or the like. A successful performance or achievement. And I'll say today is your first day of success, because guess what? You guys have achieved a successful performance today. You've achieved drug court graduation, and I want to give yourselves a hand right now. Number 2, vision, the act or power of anticipating that which will or may come to be. Vision is see yourself as CEO. See yourself as drug-free. See yourself as a good parent. See yourself as a good husband or wife. Whatever you desire, see it and go after it. You first have to see it to go after it. Prophetic vision, the vision of an entrepreneur, an experience in which a personage, thing, or event appears vividly or credibly to the mind. Although not actually present, something seen or a vivid, imaginative conception or anticipation, visions of wealth and glory. Vision yourself as what you want to be, not who you are today. Watch the words that you speak, because words are powerful. Speak it as you want, not as it is. Get up and say, you know, I'm CEO.
Whatever happened to that dream that God put in us? You know, before the world told you what you wanted to be and what you needed to do to be successful.
Cornbread.
Before you saw somebody else do it and said, you know what, I need money, I'ma do that. Before you knew what money was. And what did you want to be? And why'd you let it go? Come on.
If you're getting sick of running and tired of the